everyone, welcome back. So today's video is going to be something I've been looking forward to, and it's two parts. It's my 2018 book / reading goals, but also the top 18 TBRs for 2018. So I want to start with my goals because that's the easiest and it's also the shorter part of the video. So my first and biggest goal is to read on average a book a week. That's kind of a baseline goal for me. I do hope to read more than just one book a week, and I'm trying to balance it between shorter books and longer books so that on weeks it takes me to read a longer book, say it takes me a week and a half, and then I can finish up a shorter book and that half week of the second week, so I'm staying on top of it. I think right now I am one book ahead of schedule according to Goodreads. Another one of my book goals is to reread some of my childhood classics. So I want to buy and reread the Harry Potter series. Same goes for the Hunger Games series. And I want to have a whole video on books, both series and standalones, that I want to reread this year. I also want to read or reread certain classics that I may just not have gotten to in high school or that I read in high school but didn't really like. So a few of those include Age of Innocence, Wuthering Heights, Fahrenheit 451, 1984, things like that. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, I think it's some pretty simple basic goals that I will be able to achieve. And now on to the fun part of the video, my top 18 to be read books of 2018. And this doesn't include books I'm going to reread. That's a separate video. And it doesn't include new books. I mean, some of these are new books that you will have seen in my January book haul, but this doesn't include books I have yet to get that I'm excited to read. So there's some books I'm super excited to read. If you watched my 2018 releases I'm excited about or whatever, you'll see that a lot of those books I haven't purchased yet, so they're not going to be on this list. These are books that I've already purchased and finally want to get to. Alright, so this is also in no particular order. I just kind of pulled them down and they're sitting beside me, and they are just in height order. Okay, so one, I guess. I have had these two books. This is Dreams from My Father by President Barack Obama, and then also The Audacity of Hope by President Barack Obama. I've had these books, oh man, for a year and a half, 2 years, and I just never was moved to pick them up. I was moved to buy them, but I was never moved to pick them up. So I want to read at least one of them. I'm counting this as one. At least one of them by the end of this year. And if I like the one that I read, maybe I'll read the second one. I don't know how that's gonna work. Another book is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I want to read this specifically because the back sounds super interesting. I've been watching a lot of BookTube and so many people bring up this book. I'm like, alright, cool. I already was interested because I bought it before I was watching those videos, but not everyone's talking about it. I also love that there's at least 6 of these books out in this world, and I love when a world is already created and I don't have to wait for a new release. I have some time, and so I can just dive into this world. So I'm super excited. The premise seems super interesting. People seem to really like it, and she seems to be a very popular author, so I'm excited about that. I'm just throwing books on my bed because it's just easier that way. Next we have Curious Minds by Janet Ivanovich and Sutton? Thief? I don't even know. But yeah, I've had this for a couple months now. I love Janet Ivanovich. I'm a super huge fan of her Stephanie Plum series, which is the Bounty Hunter series. They made a movie out of the first one a couple years ago. And I also like her Fox and O'Hare series, which is with an FBI agent and a con man. And so I was wanting to get into another one of her series, and so I picked up this one because I also like the premise, and I just haven't read it. And it's so sad because it's a short book, so it shouldn't take me that long. And I have to get around to it. I keep buying books and then not reading them. Next, we have Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Fun fact about Ray Bradbury. in relation to me is that one of my favorite writing quotes of all time since like middle school is actually by him. If I quote this correctly, it is, "You must stay drunk on writing so that reality does not kill you." Or keeps. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And if it's not, I'll put the actual quote in the frame somewhere. And I just never made the connection that he was actually the author of Fahrenheit 451. I knew that it was a classic. I've had this for like 2 or 3 years. It's the 50th anniversary edition. I don't know when that was, but yeah. And I just didn't, I don't know. I have this thing where people label books as classics and I automatically think of them as boring. And I know that's wrong, but it's just when I was in high school, we read a lot of classics and we beat them to death, essentially. And so it's just like, I don't want to read any classics if they're dense and boring and I'm going to need like 6 class discussions to understand this. As you can see, I've already started. I'm on page 24. I read that in a sitting. I was on the bus, so I read that in a sitting. So I think that I'll be able to finish this in a reasonable amount of time. It's only 166 pages. 165 pages, so it's on the shorter side and I just need to do it. Also, one of my favorite YouTubers, Lily Singh, aka Superwoman II, is going to be playing one of the characters in the HBO version of this movie, and so being a true unicorn but also being a true book lover, I have to read the book before I can watch the movie. So yeah. Next book on my list is After You by Jojo Moyes. And this is the sequel, and I recently found out the second of 3 books in the Me Before You series. I read Me Before You in 2016, I believe, summer 2016. Loved the story. I was so distraught by how it ended, and I got the second book, and I was like, I don't want to continue. I had this whole dramatic thing that was happening. But once I found out that there is actually a 3rd book in the series, I was like, I kind of want to finish it, you know. The first book is easily a standalone by itself. Like, she didn't have to continue the series. And I think that's a fear that I have, is that not that she's just writing to write, but that the second and third book won't live up to what the first book was. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I'll look that up, that name. 50th anniversary edition. I got this last year. As you can see, I kind of started it. I didn't even see that bookmark right there. Okay, I'm on the first page. But yeah, this is another one where I'm like, I've had this on my shelf for so long. I was interested enough to pick it up. It's not a long book, so I just need to read it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I just need to read them. Another book that I really need to read that I just haven't is Cant Read by Octavia E. Butler. And I love the premise of this. This is also one of those books I know will be kind of hard to get through just because of the material it deals with. It deals with slavery, it deals with a black woman going back in time to slavery times. And so I'm a little scared of, not scared, but just like wary of what's in this. I know that's going to be great writing, but it's still just like, I need to get myself to a place where I'm ready to dive into a book. Even though fictional, dive into a book that deals with like slavery and those traumas. I also want to get the graphic novel of that book, so that's something else. It's already out, but that's something else that's like prompting me to read it because I love graphic novels and I like graphic novel adaptations of books. So I want to like get into that as well. Alright, we have American Street. Yes, I know. This was in my What's on My Winter Break reading list, and I still have not read it. I will say I had like 20-something books on that list, and I only had 4 weeks, not even 4 weeks, I only had 3.5 weeks on winter break. So, I mean, can you really blame me? No, you can't. Yeah, I just need to get to this. Like, I've had it for less time than some of the other books, so maybe this will go on the back burner, but yeah. This one, I'm super ashamed that I have not read this yet. I'm usually so on top of my game when it comes to Rick Riordan books. This is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Ship of the Dead Sea. I've had this book since it came out. I pre-order every Rick Riordan book, no matter what. No matter if I'm like broke and it's my last $15, I am pre-ordering the newest Rick Riordan book. So I've had it. This came out in what? Was it October? I feel like it was before then, and I just haven't gotten around to it, and I need to. And I'm pretty sure, I want to say this is, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but is this the last book of the series? I think it is, and that's also why I'm prolonging it, because it's the end of a world, and I hate the end of a world. I hate it so much. Next, we have Wonder Woman Warbringer by Lee Bardugo. Wonder Woman's my favorite superhero. And I feel like that's all I need to say about that. We Were 8 Years in Power by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This I've also had for a while. I think I pre-ordered this book as well, or I ordered the day it came out. And I'm just super excited for it. I know someone who's actually like reading it currently and they're like in love with it. And I read Between the World and Me and my intro to African American lit class sophomore year, and I fell in love with his writing, fell in love with his articles. Just, he has a way with words that is just unparalleled in some way. So I'm excited to read another book of his. Then we have Alice Walker, In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. Yep, Our Mother's Gardens. I really enjoy Alice Walker's poetry. She's also a womanist, and so this is just something that's been on my list for a while. I know there's a lot of essays in here that I'll probably connect with. It also has something to do with my senior project, the written portion of my senior project here at college. So I do need to get around to reading it so that I can, like, you know, graduate. Yeah. And then we have Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios. This just kept popping up on videos I was watching in BookTube, and I put it on my to-read list. And then I went to Amazon and I asked my mom to buy it. And that literally happened within the course of a couple hours because I was just so intrigued. So, I mean, this was in my book haul. I haven't recorded the book haul yet, but it will be in my book haul. And I will get into more about why I jumped on wanting to buy this book so quickly. I've already started. I think I'm 12% through. Yeah, I'm on page 53. So super interesting. We also have The Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. It's book 1 of her Infernal Devices. If you know anything about me, you know that I am a huge fan of the Mortal Instruments series. And so I just want to dive back into the world. These are pretty thick books. I say these because I have another one of hers that's going to come up right now. These are pretty thick books, and so I need a time where I'm not super busy to fully immerse myself. And I have a feeling that'll be after my senior project goes up. Speaking of Cassandra Clare, this book is so big for like no reason. We have Lady Midnight. This is her another series. It's part of the Dark Artifices series. The Infernal Devices, correct me if I'm wrong, but that takes place before the Mortal Instruments, whereas this takes place after, like I think 5 or 6 years after their Mortal Instruments ends, and it's also a really thick book. So I just need time to really just like get into this as well. Then we have An Ember of Ashes. I've already started this. I'm on where are the pages? I'm on page 112. I like it so far. It's taking a bit to try to like get into it, but I have hope. And I'm hoping by the time I break 150 pages that it just kind of takes off running. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the rest of the world and the rest of the books. Here we have Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I'm in love with the Lunar Chronicles. If we're counting the novella that's a part of the series, I'm two books in, so I have 3 more books to go. And yeah, I just love her writing. I think it's beautiful, I think it's intriguing, and I think she has a mastery of the world that she's created. This is separate from the Lunar Chronicles, but if this is anything like the Lunar Chronicles in terms of world building, I'm super excited. And then we have this book. This is the Collected Poems of Audre Lorde. I have had this since September, I think. I think it was part of my fall book haul, like start of fall book haul or whatever. I recently finished one of the collections of poetry in here, Black Unicorn, and my goal is to finish all of them, honestly. Like, I forget how many collections of poetry are in here, but I just want to finish all of them. She's an amazing writer. I admire her writing style, and so I just want to kind of like immerse myself in Audre Lorde as well. So yeah, those are my top 18 books that I'm not looking forward to, that I am setting the goal of reading this year. So we gonna see what happens. But yeah, if you have any book suggestions, definitely leave them in the comments below. I will be posting definitely more book-related videos as time goes on. I have a January book haul. You should check that out. I'll probably do a book haul every month or every 2 months depending on how that's going. I also have a non-January book haul that's going to come out in February. I don't want to give too much away, but it's pretty excited. I'm super excited for it. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, share it with all your friends. Check out all of my social media, which will surround me. You can also find it in the description box below, and I will see you next time. Bye. I actually just got this in the mail, Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Fun fact about this book, it's hardcover, as you can see. The retail price is $18.99. I think, and I'm a Barnes & Noble's member, so I get like a slight discount, it's like a 10% discount. And I think that at the time of buying this book, that Barnes & Noble's website glitched. Because I got this book for less than